Hello, everybody. I don't know. Sometimes if the computer is going to screw up or the audio is going to be screwed up or the video or whatnot. So, uh, this is a Pikachu night. And so we're just saying Pika Pika, Pika Pika Pika, Pikachu. Um, in all seriousness, I guess you better take this off. You won't take me seriously. Um, had a thought I'd share it. And it was brought on by something I said earlier in the day, and then someone else had posted on their Facebook page um, something very similar. But you ready for some reality? My reality. My reality. Now, maybe not your reality. Your mileage may vary. But I found myself looking in the monitor, the glass, the black glass. It's like a black mirror. And I think there's even a show, Black Mirror or something. But when a monitor is off, you look and you can see the reflection in it. And I looked at myself, and I just looked at myself, and I said, like I'm looking at myself right now, and I said, are you happy? And I think I nodded, and I said, yeah, in a way. Content, perhaps, maybe. And it kind of got me thinking about something that I think I had thought when I was younger, that transitioning or having GCS was going to make me happy. And obviously, your experience is different than my experience. Your life is different than my life. I have yet to use the equipment that I have been sliced and diced with and put back together with, but in a sexual sense, but certainly when I go to the bathroom, obviously you have to sit and you leak during the day. And that was something that, my underwear smells like urine because you leak. I mean, I guess it depends on your gasket. But anyway, but this idea of, and here's where someone said on their Facebook page, I will be so happy. I can't be happy until I have my surgery. And I'm guilty of saying that in the past, and you probably could find multiple videos here on the channel that I've said that. And I almost have to laugh at it now. I'm laughing at myself. How not naive was I, but you know, I think if anything, for me, you know, um, life doesn't suck as much. I can say that, having had surgery. Life doesn't suck as much, but the day-to-day grind is still there. The you have to go to work, and you have to do this, and you have to do that, and so many other things. Um, and it's almost like before, I was like a balloon. This is gonna be a really weird analogy. Um, I was like a leaky balloon, a balloon with a hole in it, deflated. And fighting to keep my shape and keep air in me, and things will be so much better when leaking air. Back up again, um, surgery was not gonna solve my problems, and I can't really say that surgery has solved all my problems, but life doesn't suck as much. And again, that's my experience and my take on it. But I looked, and when I read the post, I was like, if I say something counter to that, am I popping their bubble? And definitely, am I putting my own problems on someone else? You know, am I bad if I say something that's not, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. On the other hand, if I don't say something, am I being not honest or not? It's you don't want to say something that's counter to what someone else wants so very, very badly. And it's kind of a double-edged sword. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. And you can, perhaps we can say, I hope it is for you. I'm happy for you. But it's not the end all be all. But again, I can say, life doesn't suck as much. And I thought about this too yesterday when I was at work, and I went to the bathroom and I sat there and I did my business and I got up, and I was like, oh, I peed myself. Washed my hands, and I just looked at myself in the mirror. It had been a long time since I had looked at myself in a full, mirror. And it was like, I forget what I look like, but to see the ensemble, going into work with a nice blouse and a nice, a skirt, conservative skirt, good shoes, a little bit of makeup, the gestalt of it. And I looked at myself and I was like, you're doing okay. You're doing all right. Are you happy? Me, yeah, content. Content is a good word. I'd rather be content than discontent or not contented. And there are times of happiness. But part of me feels like I would caution anyone, if you think that, I hope for anyone, that it is what they want it to be. It's almost like, Hamlet says about, death is the undiscovered country. No one comes back from death. We don't know what it is. And so until we have surgery, we'll never know what it means to have surgery. And again, my experience is different than your experience. Your experience is different than my experience. And I definitely can say I bought into that. I bought the farm, paid for it, bought it, because what else do I have to lose? If you think about it that way, what do you have to lose? You'll never know if you do it. You never know if you won't do it. What do you have to lose? And I don't know, just some thoughts to kind of balance out. And I was in middle school when I read about GCS as even being possible. And I wanted it then, and I'm 46. We'll just say 30 years, probably more than 30 years, I wanted surgery. And definitely, I can dig it. I really can dig the vibe. I lived it. You've lived it, probably. And along those lines, maybe in a different take on that, someone had said that, they couldn't wait to have surgery because then they wouldn't be transgender anymore. And that was like, ho. I bought into that farm too. And that's not true. a vagina does not necessarily a woman make, and breasts do not necessarily a woman make. And I think the way that the person had built a sandwich of bullshit, it was, the shit sandwich was like, well, my life will be complete once I transition. I get on hormones, I transition, I have my surgery, facial feminization, whatever voice training I can do, and my life will be complete. And I mean, that's like, whoa. I hope it is, but that's not been my experience with this, And I don't know. Someone, I believe it was Holly Knight, once said something about, there was a younger trans woman who transitioned, and she went from one job to another, and she said something about, she, for her first month at her new job, she was stealth, nobody guessed, nobody knew, and then something happened, and I guess someone saw Facebook or something, and she's like, oh, and now I've been outed. And Holly, I don't want to quote her, I'll say allegedly, but something to the effect of, she said, hun, people knew the first moment they saw you were trans. And that's not a mean thing. There are people out there, and you could call it the gene, the vibe, whatever gaydar was. I mean, we, take off your glasses or put them on, I guess, is the way it goes. Take off your rose-colored glasses. People know. People know. We think, oh, well, if I talk in a higher register and I use the right words and I watch what I say, then people will never understand. I can go stealth forever. Bullshit. I mean, I hope for you. I hope for you. I feel like Raiden from, if I just need the hat, Lord Raiden. I hope for you it is that way. But no, But, try it and see. Maybe, who knows? It might work for you. But I honestly, at least from where I'm at here at middle age, no amount of surgery, facial feminization, breast augmentation, if you could crack every bone in my body and put it together the right way, and then I look like a Barbie doll, is such a thing possible? Who is going to come out of that process? If we could take, and I posted a couple days ago about Miss Marvel, in the comic, when she first discovers her power, she's, this, originally she is a girl of Pakistani descent, Middle Eastern Pakistani descent, with the nose and the hair, black hair, and kind of a pudgy little body. And she transforms for the first time, and she becomes like a Miss Marvel, or Captain Marvel type, blonde, long blonde hair, these long arms, beautiful breasts, and superhero body. And, she became what she dreamed she wanted to be, like Captain Marvel. But for those around her who knew her or who loved her, was she that other person? You know what I mean? I'm not really doing a good job of this. If I don't have any stuffed animals close enough, I have Pikachu, but if you, again, and I guess that's the unfortunately, that's what we have to deal with, depending on how far along you are when you transition. How much of our life are we in one form? And I guess depending on how young you are, and if hormones do things for you, and definitely if you have access to money and you can do the things like facial feminization, I mean, shit. Body sculpting, plastic surgery, all of that. is the person that comes out of, is the butterfly that comes out of that cocoon, is that the person, number one, who they are? Or are they exchanging one false self for another? I don't know. That's probably another topic for another time. But, you know, again, we say we want to be the authentic self, and that's why we transition. And again, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good analogy or whatnot. Our society prizes, you know, a slender figure, a certain mental image, kind of a Barbie doll, model, you know, type. And I almost wonder, I'm trying to think of a good example. Let's say a person, we'll pick a girl, okay? Girl like me, you know, overweight, and maybe was teased as a child and whatnot, and they were kind of fat and whatnot. And The Biggest Loser is a good example, the show, The Biggest Loser. And so you have, like, let's say a person who's through the process of this magic of TV show, you know, over the course of 12 weeks or whatnot, they lose 100 pounds, 200 pounds, and they're training, and you get Bob screaming at you or Jillian or whatnot. And the person at the end of the show looks absolutely nothing like the person at the start of the show. And everyone goes, yay! You know, can you imagine them, much like we do, after we transition, we're letting another side of us out. And I almost wonder what happens, you know, what is the real person? And obviously on The Biggest Loser, you know, if you or I had access to a dietitian, a physical trainer, and you know, away from temptation, and you know, if we had the time and we lost all that weight and we trained and whatnot under, you know, supervision, and we became this, you know, skinny person again, what are we in comparison to where we were before? Let's say with our friends who loved us one way. And again, you could say, well, that's part of the transition. You know, that's why you, male to female, you lose friends and whatnot. But like I said, I don't know. It rubbed me, not it rubbed me the wrong way, but I felt like saying, you know, I hope it is for you what you think it is. You know, I hope, and I will be here to congratulate you if that is the way that it turns out. But I'll also be here to listen and to help you as much as I can if it turns out maybe it's not as great as you thought it was. Or if you need just someone to listen to you vent. You know, maybe that's all we can really strive to do. I don't know. But again, for this young lady who just, you know, again, I bought into it when I was younger. You know, if only I did this, if only I did that. And now I'm like, well, you know, life doesn't suck as much. Is that an improvement? Perhaps. It's not over yet. I have really been trying the dating sites, and you know, it just cracks me up how, you know, I'm not going to say how pathetic I sound, but you know, it's like, oh, I have to wait and see. And, you know, I do believe there is someone out there for me. I haven't found them yet, and maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree here. You know, maybe I'm a lesbian. I don't know. You know, I have some friends that, what's the expression? Well, that's a male term. I was gonna say I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. But I can think of some girls I'd like to kiss. You know, but does that make me a lesbian? I don't know. Maybe I'm bi. I don't know. Am I horny? Yes. Like I said, I've not used my equipment yet. I don't know if it works. Feels good when I do it, but that's So anyway, all right. Well, just about 20 minutes here. But like I said, some thoughts, and I hope, I hope for everyone. I hope for anyone that they find what they're looking for. I hope for anyone, But there have been some times this week where I've been at work and I'm like, well, here's a different thought. I'm at work and I only go into the office one day a week. I work from home the rest of the time. And it made me wonder, what people say when I'm not there, and if you only heard my voice and you didn't know anything about me, would you assume that I have a man's voice? You know what I'm saying? And then to meet me, and then it would be like, oh golly, she's trans, or whatnot. So, food for thought. The other thing that's going on real quick is here in the United States, we're somewhat under siege. I don't quite know the details of it, but apparently the federal government is elements of the current power faction, which just happens to be Republicans, are out to do away with a lot of trans rights. And I'm always amazed at politicians who pick a thing that's inconsequential, and we'll say, for example, this trans rights. Not to say it doesn't matter, but as an American citizen, I want to know what the president is doing to help the economy, grow the gross national product, lower unemployment, build jobs, take care of the environment, life building things, educational, money for the bridges that are falling apart, tackling things to make ourselves a better country. And rather than do that, they pick these not stupid, but they pick these issues that are like, abortion, or something that's like a big idea, and attacking it and making this thing that it just like shakes the beehive, and gets the bees going. It's like, why are you picking on a group of people? For us, it's transgender, but why are you picking on immigrants, or why are you picking on transgender? Why don't you deal with building the country, the economy, and paying down our debt? You know what I mean? It's like making a company work better as opposed to dividing us apart. And I don't know. So, all right, my friends, good luck to you, and we'll see you next time. Good luck, and bye. And the best of luck, I will say, best of luck to you in becoming the best version of yourself as you want to be. Okay? All right, bye-bye. And good luck.